Tyler Perry goes to the BET Awards. He gives a speech, and he's an excellent orator, by the way. I'm an orator. I study oratory. Tyler Perry could have been a pastor or a community activist. He's a very good speaker, very good public speaker. He says that I've made more millionaires than every other studio in this city combined. That's what he said. And don't you know, I don't know if it was the next day, but it was definitely the same week. All of a sudden, he gets hit with a $260 million lawsuit from Derek Dixon, who met Tyler Perry in 2019 as an employee of an event company. So he was working at one of the events that Tyler Perry contracted this event company to come to and host. He met Tyler Perry there. Tyler Perry invited him to audition for an upcoming show called Ruthless.
Do you think Tyler Perry had anything to do with what he's being accused of? Now, I don't put anything past anybody, but just like Umar was just saying here, if you knew anything about that Ruthless show, it just wasn't anything. It wasn't anything good. Like, there was a lot of hidden messages and even agendas that I would say in there when it comes to some of the homosexuality. So when these accusations come out and it's like you don't want it to be spoken true, it's like, don't let your good be spoken evil upon. Like, kind of, it's like, I don't know, man. When it comes to Tyler Perry, I know a lot of people see him as like this Christian man, and it's like he's a man of God, and because he does Christian themed movies sometimes, or themed plays, or has Christian music in his movies. But that doesn't make anything, man. Like, that doesn't mean anything. I definitely think that when it comes to a lot of these people, there is some truth to kind of the secret lives that they're living that they don't want the public to know because they feel that it would mess up their image. But it's like, it's coming out. I think whether you like it or not, whether they like it or not, what's in the dark is always going to come to light. But let's hear a little bit more about this. But I want to know what you guys think in terms of Tyler Perry when it comes to the Christian community. Because even when all this was happening, he comes out on TikTok with his like song, oh, he's got the whole world in his hands. And he's like, it's like he tries to like he's been this faithful man of God this entire time. And it's like, stop using God for people to feel for you, and kind of just take accountability and just stop the nonsense if it is true.
Later on, Tyler Perry tells him, allegedly, according to Derek Dixon's attorney, Tyler Perry told him, I can change your life. Stick with me, I could change your whole life. He then invites him to audition for a role on The Oval, Tyler Perry series The Oval. Derek Dixon stars in 85 episodes of The Oval between 2020 or 2021 until 2024, 2025. In January of 2020, Art, right before COVID, Tyler Perry allegedly texts Derek Dixon and says, among other things, I can't remember the last time I had really good sex. Now, as a heterosexual male, if another man sends me a text telling me he can't remember the last time he had good sex, I already know that ain't somebody I need to be around alone. Because he clearly got the wrong idea about me. In fact, I'm going to have to let him know. In the future, fam, I don't need to know about your sex life. So Tyler Perry texts him this. He can't remember the last time he had great sex. And then he invites Derek Dixon to his house. Derek Dixon goes to Tyler Perry's house in Georgia. He says, allegedly, according to the criminal complaint or the civil suit, he says Tyler Perry gave him some drinks. They were talking. He started to feel a little tipsy. It got late. Tyler Perry tells Derek, it's a little too late for you to drive home tonight. You've been drinking. I have a guest bedroom.
Okay. It's like the setup is there. I try to give them the benefit of the doubt because I like to keep it neutral, man. I like to keep it neutral. But it's like too much of these similar situations have come out, and it's like, you know what it is. You know what it is. And to say, like Umar saying, to say that to another heterosexual man, if Tyler Perry was indeed heterosexual, it's like you just don't do those kinds of things. You don't set up like, I don't know, man. It seems a little off. Even the movies he does, the shows that he does, especially those shows. Like, I don't be watching them, man, but I do know people that enjoy those shows. And I'm not saying that the cinematic aspect of it is bad. Tyler Perry's good at his job. But I just think that the message and the themes of what's being put out there should be readdressed because it doesn't align with this Christian image that I also think he's trying to put out there, that he does put out there.
Come and stay in my guest bedroom. Derek Dixon goes to the guest bedroom. He's tired. He's been drinking. He's ready to get some sleep. He says he lays down. And at some point, Tyler Perry comes into his room, slips into the bed behind him, and start rubbing the inside of his thigh. Now, Art, he don't leave. He don't punch him. He don't get dressed and call a Uber or get in his car and get up out of there. In fact, he goes back to work like nothing happened. You could have sued him right there.
That's the other thing I say about these situations, because like I'm not saying Tyler Perry didn't do what he's being accused of being done, and I'm also not saying he definitely did it. But on the other end, when it comes to these, like, oh, we want to wait a very long time to then come after people, it's like, why didn't it matter to you back then? I kind of feel like that same thing when it came to the Shannon Sharp situation. He was being accused right when he was getting ready to sign a very expensive deal. You know, it's like, well, if it affected you then, or if this was really that big of a deal as you're saying it is now, why didn't we make it a big deal back then when it happened? That's just my thought. If you've been in an experience where you've done something similar, let me know what you think. You know, I'm open to learning that. I'm open to hearing that. But from my perspective, I agree with that in that sense. It makes sense. Hey, Tyler Perry, I'm not putting it past him to have done some pretty freaky deaky stuff. But then on the flip side, when that happened, because I'll tell you right here, first and foremost, if that happened to me, I'm up and gone. I'm up and gone. I'm up and gone. Number two, I probably wouldn't have even drank that much to where I couldn't have gotten home to my own safe space. And if that did happen, let's go hypothetical. If that did happen and I was in the same position as he was, this bedroom door better have a lock to it. Like, I'm not just sleeping open so you could just come in freely.
He says, and this is where I think Tyler Perry has some room to stand and defend himself. Derek repeatedly alleges that he was concerned about his job and his career. Well, if you're concerned about your job and your career, and this black man is sexually harassing you, why not turn him in? Why isn't your manhood or your self-respect, even if you're homosexual, if this man is sexually assaulting you, because you can be sexually assaulted as a homosexual as well, why not turn him in? Why are you saying I put up with it for the sake of the job? To me, you are collaborating and voluntarily participating in this because you could have ended this a long time ago. So
you could have politely told him to stop. You know, hey, I'm not really interested. And sometimes that might mean you're going to get fired, especially in these kind of rounds, because it's shady business sometimes. So it's like that might mean you will get fired. But if that's where are your morals at the end of the day, we can't put our morals in the hands of somebody else and tell them to make our moral decision. No. Where's your morals? If you don't enjoy it, you don't like it, I think he should have stopped. I think he should have told him, hey, this isn't something I'm interested in. And if he didn't get the picture, you can always leave. Don't subject yourself to something on the other end that other people shouldn't be forcing themselves onto people, if that's something Tyler was doing. But on this dude's end, don't subject yourself to that.
Anyway, Art, he says that Tyler Perry, throughout this whole relationship of 2020 to 2024, is grabbing his butt cheeks. He says one day Tyler Perry comes into his trailer, grabs him violently by the neck, grabs his butt. Then he says a couple months later, there was another incident. Then the following year, in June of 2021, he says Tyler Perry pulled his underwear down, Art. Help me out. Help me out. If this man allegedly pulled your underwear down and grabbed your ass cheeks, why are you not going to a lawyer or going to the police?
Yeah. This is a little bit more than just small little workplace harassment or whatever. This is aggressive. Like you're getting choked and slammed against walls and aggressively grabbing butt cheek. Like, yeah, man. Like, I don't know. When it's coming out, it's you're making Tyler seem way more brutal than probably what the situation accounted for. Now, there was a podcast where Monique was speaking, I believe, to Shannon Sharp, where she was explaining how much power and authority and respect Tyler had when it came to being in his studio, in his room, when he said something, when he snapped his fingers, when he clapped his hands. People moved, people responded.
Now we go to the Hoodie Awards. Tyler Perry is there. Okay? Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry calls me in his room. Now, when I go into Tyler Perry's room, his staff is in there. Now, you ready to holler laughing?
Yes.
Okay, I take my security in there with me because I always want to have somebody with me. Right? Tyler Perry does this. And the people scattered. They all left out the room. I said, look at this shit right here. You saw me. And they all scattered.
That wasn't the lights, that's for the people. You know, lights on?
Lights off, because they got their asses up out of there,
okay.
So I could understand how anyone in those positions abuse that authority and they do small, subtle things. But yeah, the way he's explaining it, I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. I'm only saying and coming from the standpoint of Tyler Perry, if you really are going to be I'm a Christian man, I love God, and God is the center of my life, and you want that audience and you want those people to follow you and kind of support your movies and your career, don't find yourself in these kinds of situations, man. But also, if you want to be in that realm, in that light, go be in that light and stop using God and Christianity and the Bible and all of that to try and pull a certain audience in for you, man. That's just my thought. You know, there's plenty of movies that Tyler Perry has made that I think are good movies. His Why Did I Get Married series. Some of his other ones, Temptation, you know, there's been other ones where I believe that he's done where it's been a good plot, you know, it's been a really decent plot. I haven't seen the new Straw, yet, the one with, Taraji P that just came out on Netflix. I haven't seen that yet, but I think that those ones like that are like normal, decent movies, you know, it's still pushing some sort of an agenda, as people say, where there's always kind of a distressed black woman, a single black woman at that, you know, so there is some sort of a theme, you know, but it's not the theme that's blasphemous to the word of God in any sort of way. That's just my take. And it's like, you mess around and they find themselves in these situations, all these people, man. They find themselves in these situations and they start questioning and wondering, buddy, what's in the dark is going to come to the light every single time. And it's like, for Tyler Perry's sake, I hope none of this is true, but also for other people's sake when it comes to these things, because it's happened a lot. What's with the crying wolf months, years after the fact? And the excuse, if you will, and sorry if my choice of words is a little harsh, but the excuse that I usually hear is that what Umar was saying, I didn't want to lose my job, or I didn't want to risk this. And it's like, it's your boundary, man. If you have a boundary and someone is offending you or crossing that boundary, you need to express yourself, and you need to educate other people that boundary has been crossed, and set those boundaries there. You don't subject yourself to a situation like that. Not saying that because, he's subjected, it doesn't make him a victim. He had his reason, but still, I do see that there has been a huge attack in that community when it comes to the wealthy black creators sometimes, like the Shannon Sharps, the Tyler Perry, things of that nature. But on the other end, it does come out to be where it's like, y'all kind of, made your bed. Now you got to sleep in it. You found yourself in these situations. So just stop using God as a prop and really have a relationship. So that way, when the rubber meets the road, you don't find yourself in these kind of situations. That's all I got for you guys on this one, man. Shout out to Tyler Perry for his new movie, Straw. But that situation that he did with this guy might have been his last straw. We'll find out as this lawsuit or whatever comes to an end, whenever it comes to an end. I'm out, y'all.